I figured put me in the middle since mine's so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything, but
kind of did that layup for you guys there. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how we'd rather be playing games than
being guilted into buying expensive Valentine's Day gifts.
I'm Josh.
I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo.
And you sound like a sucker.
I guess, yeah, you could call me that. And I shouldn't complain too much, in fairness. My fantastic girlfriend, Nisha, got me a gift for Valentine's Day, which both of you actually might be quite impressed with. And you might also be quite suspicious of. She got me a $50 gift card for Steam.
Oh,
and I didn't put her up with it. I didn't do that.
Sounds like she wants a reason to stay away from you. You know, here, Steve, go play games. I've got things to do.
I thought I would like this No Games 2018, but 6 weeks in, you got to go back.
You're driving me crazy, Stevo.
It is probably all of this combined. I'd say so, but it means I can buy games. Yes. Yeah. And in fairness, I got her flowers, and we're gonna go do some fancy brunch at a place that she's been wanting to go to for a while, and you know I'll take care of that. So I feel like it's not a bad deal, all in all. I'm surprised you aren't more suspicious about this. I'm surprised you aren't giving me shit here about being, a cheat.
So in total honesty, I knew about this before it happened. She came to me for a suggestion.
Genius. You know what?
Yeah.
If I was a real evil genius, I would have had her do that first.
Yeah, I know. A little suspicious here.
Now what do you believe, Elliot? You don't know what to believe.
No, we just know you're not a genius, so we're okay.
Touche.
Safe bet.
Yeah, but it means I've been able to buy games in No New Games 2018. I've only spent $20 of it so far, but I picked up Celeste on Steam, and oh my god, dude, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about it.
Yeah, you got enough money to buy one of us a copy.
I do actually, Josh.
Oh, just one of us. Wait for a sale, then you can get it for both of us.
True. Actually, there's a sale going on Steam right now, and I've been so tempted. You know, I'm just sitting there looking at my wish list and going, but there's 70% off. I have to buy it. You know, it's only $6 or whatever.
What was the one Titanfall 2 for like $4 or something?
Yeah.
Right? Because PSN has a sale now too.
Yeah.
And the Temptations, man.
Yeah,
you're like a crack addict that's been sober for a month, and you're like, but there's a sale on crack.
That's false. Crack never comes on sale, Josh.
It's true.
2 for $1.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I've been focusing, trying to, because of course this is the problem. This has always been our problem, that when you can buy anything, then you just buy everything, and then you don't play anything. Mm-hmm. But I've tried to focus. I picked up Celeste, and I'm about halfway through it. I've had it about, well, less than a week now, I guess. So I'm motoring through it pretty quickly, but it's a really fun game. Elliot, did you get some Steam credit for your birthday, or I guess you got all kinds?
No, so that's the thing, and I'm gonna be passive aggressive about this and let her know through this podcast that she never got me a birthday gift. Amy, my wife.
She never picked you up anything?
No, so she said she's so supportive of this No Games 2018. It was like, I'll buy you a Steam or Nintendo or PlayStation gift card for your birthday. And we also went into the city and caught a show, and she took me out to dinner. That was all nice, but I was like, that's a great gift, thanks. She's like, no, I'm gonna get you something that you really want too, that you can take home and play with. I was like, great. And here we are, 2 weeks after my birthday, and I think she forgot. So this will be a double whammy if she doesn't even listen to this podcast. I'll be like, wow.
So she left you alone without any games to play. I think she did leave you home with something to play with.
I don't get it.
Your penis.
Oh, she didn't leave that.
It's a Josh joke. You really have to work hard on these Josh jokes.
They can't all be winners. I'm sorry.
They can't all be wieners. You see what he did there?
God.
Oh,
this is safely cut.
Every time I play Mario and Rabbids and Luigi shouts out, "I'm a wiener," it really does it for me every time. It's like they clearly did that on purpose. Clearly did it on purpose. Just to mess with us all.
I have Luigi, but I've never heard him say that.
Yeah, when he's doing like a team jump or something, I think. Or maybe it's his Overwatch thing. He's like, "I'm a wiener." Yeah. Oh, no, it's his fast walk thing. You know, the thing where it allows people to move extra squares each turn. I think it's that one. Yeah, give it a go this evening.
I'm a wiener.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh my god.
Okay. Focus. Celeste.
What if is this a podcast?
Well, I'm jealous that you get to have new games this year.
Well, you have found a way to do that as well, Josh.
Your own fucking loophole.
A much more suspicious way. Josh's nephew has been buying games
on Josh's consoles.
No. He has his own PlayStation.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, I mean, he can always come out here and install it on mine, but I'm just saying.
Wow.
He does have his own that he bought, and he wanted. There was a sale on this new South Park, the Fractured Butthole game, and he was like, "Oh, I want to go get it." So he even walked like the mile and a half to the ATM and back to go get the money, so he could make a deposit, so that he could buy a gift card or he has like a small like credit card that he doesn't use that often, but he has it assigned to his PSN account, so he had to go deposit the money in order to use it, or a debit card rather.
Yep.
So yeah, no, his was legit, and so but now I get a chance to play it.
Did he buy the disc? Like you can just pop it in your game in your PlayStation?
No, it was a download.
Okay.
It was a sale on
This
PSN.
is definitely okay. Then we're calling it right here. You will never play that game. That is totally cheating.
Yeah,
it's already installed on my PlayStation.
How?
He came out. He wanted to play it on the big screen.
How convenient.
Yeah.
I spent no money.
Oh, sneaky Josh! Like.
Yeah. I mean, you could easily just like subliminally message him to be like Monster Hunter World. Or whatever you want to play next.
This is coming from the guy who's passive aggressively calling out his wife on the podcast about not getting him a gift card to play a game.
Yeah.
And apparently, if he buys Monster Hunter anyway, he will just be playing that forever himself, and you won't be able to log in and play it anyway, presumably.
That's true. I assume that it'll hog the TV forever. Or he's got his own PlayStation, so you'll just never see him again.
It's true.
Yep.
Well, he already has the Kingdom Hearts series that he's been playing through, so.
Man, I need to finish that one too.
He's got 1 down, 2 down. I think he's working on Birth by Sleep now.
Proud mode?
Critical mode.
What?
Yeah.
There's a harder mode after Proud mode?
Yep.
It's impossible, as it is.
No, Birth by Sleep, he was playing on critical mode.
Oh my god.
It was kind of fun watching him die on this one boss over and over again, but he seems to be making good progress, actually.
Is he platinuming?
I don't know.
Okay.
I checked.
Well, whatever. He's not that good.
He's got more trophies than I do. Let's just put it that way. Period.
Wow.
Oh, altogether.
Yeah.
Good for him.
That's impressive. Actually, I don't even believe it. Really?
He's got a lot.
It's really impressive.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So what the hell is Celeste? It's a platformer, right?
Oh, remember we were talking about that? Celeste is very much a platformer. It's actually made by the developer of one of our favorite games to play as a group when we hang out, Towerfall.
I love that game.
It is.
I love beating you guys in that game.
I love beating you guys in that game once per session.
Yeah.
Even though Josh tends to beat us about 7 times out of 10.
If in a whole session, if I can win once, I've made it. Like, I'm okay. Like, I still got it.
Totally agree. Totally agree. That's my satisfaction too. But Celeste it actually shares a lot of mechanics of Towerfall. Obviously, it's 2D platforming. You have a little jump move, and you also have a dash, similar to the dash that we never use in Towerfall because we're not that good at it.
I always forget about it.
I always forget about it too. It's also very colorful. You'd recognize the color palettes or those like greens and pinks and reds and oranges are very similar. In fact, your character, Madeline, is a ginger-haired girl.
It's not Celeste?
No. Okay,
Oh.
so she's climbing the mountain. The mountain is called Celeste.
Oh, wow.
And it's a story about this young girl, presumably in her like late teens or 20s, and she's decided she's gonna scale this mountain. And you can tell she kind of suffers from anxiety and panic attacks, and at times you're wondering, why has she chosen to undertake this? And sometimes you find her questioning herself, but she's determined, and you as the player are basically determined to do it. And it's
So
really fun.
There's a bit of a story then. There's a
There
character.
is.
There's
Absolutely, a surprising amount of story for a 2D platformer. It's funny. It kind of is a blend between Towerfall and Super Meat Boy, but then it has this whole layer of story on top of it as well, and character and charm. It's a really fun game, and Elliot, you've got a bit of money. I highly recommend you pick it up. I'd love to be able to talk about it, in more detail. But and the music is beautiful as well. I think that's one of the things that you really appreciate about it. It works so well with the mechanics, and it's all instant death, instant restart, similar to Super Meat Boy, and it's got that one more game, or just finish this part, just finish this screen. Like, you basically, it saves after you clear each screen, similar to Meat Boy, but there's no jumping out and jumping back into levels. It tends to be that it's broken out into a chapter, and a chapter is like a sprawling area of screens. It's mostly traveling, left to right or bottom to top. And it's usually, you don't have a tendency to lose your way or anything. It's certainly, I wouldn't describe it as a Metroidvania. It's more of a linear platformer, but it mixes up so many different mechanics, like the jumps and the dashes. There are little markers that you can hit while jumping and dashing that will refresh your dash, so that you can double dash. You can hold on to the ledges for a certain amount of time and climb, which adds, obviously you can wall jump and standard stuff that you would find in 2D platformers, but it mixes all these different mechanics so well, and then throws in different chapters. It'll throw completely new mechanics into the mix. Like, one of them is there's like shooting wind blowing across the screen in one direction, and it'll either be constant or maybe it'll stop and start, and you'll have to work the rhythm into getting past different 2D, the platforming obstacles. And it really does test your skill as a platform gamer, but it's really rewarding. That satisfaction when you beat a level, when you beat a chapter. Like, I'm really enjoying, one more screen, one more chapter, and I think I'm gonna fly through.
It's something that's been on my radar ever since I finally heard about it, which honestly was not that long ago. But hearing the comparisons to Super Meat Boy as well as Towerfall, well, again, duh. But I mean, it sounded like something I'd actually be pretty interested in. So I'm looking.
You definitely would
get a chance to actually play it.
I didn't even hear about it till like one of my friends out here in Easton was like, "Did you play Celeste?" I was like, "I haven't even heard about it. What is this like shovelware 2D thing?" And then like within that week, I just kind of exploded all over the news. It's like, man, I'm falling behind here. Like,
I'm playing it on Steam, and I've obviously got a Microsoft an Xbox One controller.
Xbox One.
A Microsoft Xbox One controller, yes. Just in case you were wondering which Xbox One. But I found I'm taking a lot of screenshots as well. I'm keeping a little like wireless keyboard lying on my sofa next to me while I'm playing it on my TV, and just take screenshots, because the story and the like the different environments and stuff, it's so pretty, and it's like so charming. I'm just like really trying to make sure that I remember different parts of it for when we come back and talk about the entire story, presumably when you guys pick it up and finish it. On your travels, you meet this other guy who's seems to be climbing the mountain as well. His name's Theo, and it just cracked me up. He's like this dude with like earrings and cool facial hair, but his speech bubble is in check pattern, and it just really cracked me up. Like you can feel how much of a hipster he is because of how he talks and how his little avatar looks, and just the background of the speech bubble. It's just, it oozes charm and fun, even though it does deal with those more difficult subjects, as I say, of anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. And I'm really looking forward to getting through the rest of it and making my way up that mountain.
Yeah, it's my most tempting purchase right now, because I have enough in my eShop to buy it on Switch, eShop credit. So it's the one that I'm like, do I, this is the last $20 I'm gonna have to spend unless my wife steps up here and gives me a birthday present for the rest of the year. So
yeah.
Ugh.
I would recommend, if it wasn't for No New Games 2018, I would definitely have picked this up on the Switch. It would be perfect for
ideal
playing a few screens or a chapter in bed or while traveling. And the platforming is definitely challenging, but it's not quite as reactive and twitchy as Super Meat Boy, or at least it hasn't been up to the point where I am. So
okay.
I feel like you could potentially play it on Joy-Cons and it would work pretty well. As opposed to, Super Meat Boy, I thought was a little tricky on Joy-Cons because you had to be that much, more accurate with the movement.
Yeah. You should give it a stream. Like, you wouldn't even have to put your face on there, I think, because there's a lot of people who like watching streams to just like passively see games with people not talking, and I feel like you could do something like that with a game like that. Like,
good call. You would just get my facial reactions when I beat something, or when I'm banging my head against a brick wall trying to beat one of the screens. Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. Okay, yeah. I will within the next week. I'll stream some of this,
because I've done the same thing where I get in this, I see other streamers and I get into this thing in my head where I'm like, you have to be entertaining, you have to be on all the time. But then you start seeing more and more streams, and you see a lot of people that genuinely prefer they just want to watch the game play through. They don't want some stupid head sitting there talking the whole time. So I think for the story games, I tend to avoid streaming for that reason. But now that I'm seeing more of that I might try to, maybe when I play Horizon, games are such a personal experience where I'm just like, this is my zone. This is my, no one, I'm going through this as this character, and I don't want to also have to entertain people while I'm doing it. Yeah. So it's fun for games like Rocket League, but for the single player games, I think you could totally do just play the game. I
agree. I think I will try that. I'll give that a go.
Yeah. To an extent, I'm wondering how that would work for me, because I know, for instance, so I didn't play a ton this week, or this past week, 2 weeks, but I did start up Dark Souls 3. Beat the first boss, beat this little mini boss you don't have to beat, but I beat him anyway, and then made it to the first Firelink Shrine main place where you can finally level up for the first time. But I mean, I still died a few times along the way. I'm just not sure. I mean, I'd be okay with streaming it, but I'm not sure how often people want to watch something like Dark Souls, where you got to die and repeat stuff over and over and over again if you're not, on the ball. And I've never played this one before, so I don't know what's coming up. So it might be better with a headset with me just raging the whole time.
So I think with Dark Souls, it could be entertaining for people to watch you die over and over again and see your reaction as you go. But it's also a community kind of thing. You'll have people in the chat giving you tips and being like, don't do this or do this. And sometimes they're fucking you over. Sometimes they're helping you.
I think the big thing about Dark Souls would be to do it regularly and say, this is my time that I'm going to be playing Dark Souls. Mm-hmm. And then certain people will log in and see you playing, and then they might try and help you out. Decide that it's going to be a regular thing for them to log in and tell you what you should be doing while playing. I'll watch you, Josh, if you do it at a regular time. I'll watch, because then when I go to play Dark Souls 3 myself, I'll know what I'm supposed to do, and that would be a benefit.
Gotcha.
Speaking of which, that's twitch.tv/ratherbyplaying.
Yeah.
A streaming channel, and that's where we stream. All three of us stream on there. So
We've mostly been streaming Rocket League recently, but
yeah,
we're gonna have to dive into a few other things. Maybe give a couple of free-to-play games a shot. Maybe Brawlhalla or Warframe.
yeah, Brawlhalla, Warframe.
We'll talk more about that next time, Ad, after we've tried them, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's Elliot got on? What's Elliot been playing? I mean, maybe he's got some time to stream some stuff.
So yeah, I finished up, and I don't know how I would stream this, but I finished up Super Mario Run, which I've just been kind of sitting on my phone since I got it. And I just sat down one night and I was like, oh, I haven't played this in a while. It's a really fun game. It's the Mario Brothers mobile game,
Yep.
right? And it can be played with
endless
one
runner
hand.
type thing.
It's not an endless runner. You keep calling it that, but that's
I know, but I don't know. It's a runner game. That just sounds weird.
Wait,
just
it is an
automatic-
endless runner. What are you talking about?
and-
Oh, it
Endless
has
Runner-
levels. It has levels. It's like
Endless-
Rayman.
Endless Runner is like Cannonbolt,
Yeah.
where it just goes forever. But this is just the only difference between this and any other Mario game is that Mario continuously moves left to right.
That's an endless runner. That's
No,
the
it's not.
definition of an endless runner.
No, endless runner is endless. This has levels. This ends.
Like you go to like
This has
he's talking about
levels.
Cannonball where you go until you die.
Yeah.
Whereas as in like Rayman, was it with like Rayman Fiesta or something like that? Fiesta
Yeah.
Run
There've
and
been a few
Mario Run.
Rayman.
You just go from left to right. You do some jumps along the way, get around the obstacles, and eventually the level ends and you beat that
Yeah.
level. And then
There's
you
enemies, there's obstacles, there's objectives, there's not secret, but like optional collect things you can collect, like
Sure. I'm not trying to get into semantics. I'm not trying to just wind you up here.
It's an auto runner. Let's go with that.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if you were to describe a game to someone, you describe the gameplay to them. The gameplay of this is endless runner gameplay. It's broken up into levels, but you're not actually moving left and right. It's a 2D endless runner platformer.
But there are actual games called endless runners that are done very differently, is what I'm saying. So that's why saying that this is an endless runner is inaccurate.
It's like an auto runner.
It's an auto running game.
Okay, we've just coined that term. It's an auto runner from now on. That's what we're gonna call this.
Trademark, rather be playing auto runner.
2018.
I'm sure it's been used before, but it's the only thing is you don't use a finger to make him go forward. You don't like push a button to make him go forward. He goes forward on his own. But you
only push one button. You're doing a tap, and that does everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is like any other Mario game, right? Because if you took off the D-pad, you would only hit the jump button pretty much, except for like fire flowers.
Except for like everything since Mario 1. Wait, Super Mario Brothers had the flower power. You had to have another button for that.
So that was the only other thing. So there's no like, I don't think there's any flower button, any flower power in this. Anyway, it's Mario running left to right, and then you tap on the screen to make him jump, and it's got all the techniques from that you're used to, like wall jumping. So, and they use that in ways to make the gameplay more varied. So you're not always going left to right, because you can jump up a wall, and then if you do the wall jump, you'll
sometimes
jump
you'll go right to left.
Yeah, you'll go
It's
backwards.
ingenious.
And there's like usually it's like a hard to reach coin that you're trying to collect, like 3 or 5 or whatever it is. And so you jump on the wall to get backwards and then end up going behind. But then as soon as he hits the ground, he'll resume going forward again.
Jesus, what will Nintendo do to reinvent the 2D space again? Going right to left. Holy shit, I never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's actually got some really difficult objectives. Like, I am not anywhere near 100%ing it. Like, you see my, results of the first like 2 or 3 worlds, and it's like I collected everything, but then like I barely even got 1 for any of the rest of them, because
it's the opposite of Odyssey.
What do you mean?
Odyssey's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Odyssey is hard if you're trying to get 100%, though.
Yeah, I would say it's similar to Odyssey, because you haven't gotten near 100% in it.
Yeah.
You were talking about 100%. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like the later levels did have some difficulty as well. Like, I died several times and had to redo things a lot, especially like the ghost house levels, which are just a pain in the ass. But and in terms of trying to get 100%, it's almost like just thinking about it seems impossible to me, because like, how could you possibly get these coins when one of the obstacles is the fact that Mario is just going left to right the whole time. So you got to find a way to get around the system, using the system to get those hard to reach places. And it's...
So have you actually played through all the levels?
Yeah, I played through all of them.
How long did that take you?
I don't know. I played through most of it in my first sitting, and then another chunk in the next sitting. And these sittings are like 6 months apart here. So I can't tell you.
So just
exactly.
a few hours basically to play through all of it. But then it could be days to try and get all the coins.
Yeah, I think it would take a while to try to complete everything. But it's a surprisingly deep and challenging and very fulfilling experience for a mobile game that's just one finger to tap. It's like they really did a good job with it. I would play another one. I would play more, but
are you looking forward to Mario Kart Tour? Have you any idea what they're going to do with that?
I have no idea what they're going to do with that. I'd have to see how it's going to work, but
it's going to be an auto racer.
Yeah, it's going to be an endless racer. Sorry, auto racer.
Well, it is an auto racer.
I'm sure it'll at least...
You're racing autos.
It definitely has to be. Oh, God. The thing I liked a lot about it was the fact that it's in this like climate of everything on mobile being free to start and then microtransactions. It's a pay once and you own it forever, and you own all the content that's ever coming out for it forever.
Yep.
And it was a model that was risky, because at the time no one was doing that anymore because it wasn't as profitable. And so Nintendo's like, we'll take a chance. And of course, of all the games Nintendo's released, this is the only one that is of that model. Everything else is like free to download and then microtransactions. Right. This is the worst performing game. So because you fuckers didn't buy it, you're telling the market, we want microtransactions.
We're not telling the market we want microtransactions. We're telling the market we don't want mobile games. Make real games. Make more Nintendo Switch games.
So you're like,
don't blame us for people playing Fire Emblem whatever on the iPhone. I didn't play that.
Yeah, I mean,
I played the initial free download of Mario Run, but I wasn't all that interested after that. So
it's super good. Like the later levels especially are definitely worth. Like if it comes on sale for $5, it's absolutely worth it. $10 is probably steep, but it's been $5 a few times.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year.
If mobile games are your jam, I guess that's the way to go.
It's not mobile games; it's games.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. We were at PAX and we played the new Super Meat Boy that is also an auto runner, and that is not games.
But it's
I don't want mobile games. That's a mobile game. But I don't want it.
You can't universally blanket say I hate all games of this type, because there can be good ones that are done well.
And there's also shitty console games too.
I'm saying that so they were bringing out new Meat Boy, and they brought out one of these instead. I am absolutely, as a fan of Super Meat Boy, I'd say, don't do that. Why did you do that? Just bring out a real platformer, not this nonsense.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll release it on Switch.
But as someone who's a fan of games, I can say I haven't played it yet. Maybe I'll try it first and see how good it is.
Okay.
Or darn, I'll play something else.
Or I just But I think it deserves a shot. I think games deserve a shot, because I don't know.
Look, I'm a fan of Mega Man, so I'm used to constant disappointment. So
would you play a Mega Man auto runner?
Fuck no.
Even if it was like universally praised, best Mega Man since 2.
Oh sure, yeah. I just don't expect it to be good. Okay. Did you see that with like the port of Mega Man X to iOS? That was terrible.
But that was like on-screen touch controls, right?
Yeah, it was terrible.
And so I think like this sort of this auto runner thing is the way to do the like mobile platformers. Like you can't have on-screen touch. Like that's just.
Oh no! Like I played Rayman Fiesta Run quite a bit. That was actually a decent amount of fun.
I love that game.
I just don't expect any Mega Man. Like I said, I'm used to constant disappointment. So they said Mega Man Auto Runner. I'll be like, all right, let's see how they screwed this genre up too.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say the worst thing about Mario is you have to be online to play it. That's absolutely the most anti-consumer bullshit thing, because I found myself wanting to play it the most when I'm on an airplane, when I don't want to like dig out my 3DS or my Switch or something like that, and I just have my phone. I just want to play a quick level, and that's when you can't play it. So
that's very strange, isn't it?
And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people didn't buy it, and a big reason why it didn't do that well.
Yeah.
So I do have to mention that is bullshit. Rayman doesn't do that, and it's a huge blast to play. Not a huge blast, but it's fun. It's great, one-handed, half mindless, like still challenging fun. You can get through a level easily, or you can make it as, try to get everything and make it harder.
I'm tempted to see, like, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Mario Kart. There's definite potential because, like, driving, you are going as fast as you can. You are going at a constant speed.
Yeah.
So they could potentially really make that fun. But yeah, I downloaded Mario, the iPhone app as well, and it just Mario Run. It just wasn't my thing.
Mario Kart's going to be everybody goes at the same speed, and then you are RNG'd your items, and then if you get the blue shell, you win.
I hope it's more than that, but I don't know how.
I expect it'll be more than that.
I don't know how else. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll play it though, because I'm sure it'll be free to download.
So we played Last Legacy.
We finished Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, our backlog roulette game. All of us finished it together.
How proud of us are you, listeners? How proud of
seriously.
us? Yep.
It was a meaty game too. It was a good 7-8 hours.
Yeah.
Give or take, yeah.
It's my ideal length of a game. I really enjoy. You can play it over a couple of evenings or a couple of afternoons, and it was a fun ride. What did you think? What did you enjoy it as much as other Uncharted games?
I liked it about as Uncharted 2 and 4 are my favorites. I don't really know how to put them both. I can't really choose between the two.
Yeah.
I'd put Lost Legacy up there with them.
Yeah.
I like the callbacks to Uncharted 2.
Yeah, me too. And Uncharted 2 is definitely my favorite. I feel like it's the most fun action. It was very rough around the edges, but it also had those rough around the edges in terms of the gunplay and the actual gameplay. But it had those action sequences that just blew your mind at the time. This one is so much more polished. It's so much more beautiful. And the story is very, very well told. But it has the same gameplay as Uncharted 4, which for me, I just didn't enjoy it that much. I don't enjoy the sneaking. I don't enjoy the perfectly polished, shooting and fighting. I just
what? That just sounded weird. I don't enjoy the excellent, outstanding, perfect.
But it's too round. It's not punchy enough. The gunplay in Uncharted 2 still for me, the guns were so much punchier. Headshots might have been a little easier, or at least I just felt they were a little more natural for me. For some reason, they've gone too far with this. At this point, I don't want to use guns.
When did you play Uncharted 2?
I replayed it just a few months ago, actually. I played the whole collection through.
No, that's right.
Before Uncharted 4 came out. So, yeah.
So I'm like, when I played Uncharted... When I played Uncharted 2, Uncharted 2 had the best gunplay, and when they went back to when they did Uncharted 3, they did something that they had to later go back and adjust.
Yeah, it was a huge thing
with the way targeting was and the crosshair, how the crosshair worked and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So when Uncharted 4 came out, I thought it was pretty well done compared to Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a major difference between 2 and 4 as far as the gunplay goes, other than things like attaching C4 to things or whatnot. But I mean, yeah, I'm just not seeing it.
Oh, guys, we did the thing again where we jump right in without even talking about what we're talking about. Uncharted Lost Legacy. What is it? Obviously, it's an Uncharted game, but it's touted as the first Uncharted game that's not Nathan Drake's story.
Yeah.
Yep.
It started out as DLC for Uncharted 4.
That's right, yeah.
And they made it standalone.
Which was a good decision.
Yeah.
It is, again, this is my ideal size of a game. I want to pay $40 for a game this length. I want to play things that, I can get through in a couple of sittings and I don't get halfway through and then give up and never go back
but
to it.
it brings back a fan favorite character as the main character.
Yep.
Chloe Frazer from Uncharted 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then also brings in Nadine Ross, who was one of the antagonists in Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they're very different characters. Chloe is very much the quick-witted, funny, kind of cheeky. Where is she from?
Uncharted 2. Oh, yeah.
She's English, and her parents or her father is Indian. Isn't that right?
yes.
She's Australian.
Oh, is she Australian?
Yeah.
I thought she was English.
Yeah. They mentioned it in the game.
Oh.
She's like grown up in Australia. And
Yeah.
then Nadine's like, that explains the accent.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
And
Okay,
Nadine is...
let's just cut this out. I'm terrible. How did I forget that?
Yeah. So yeah, she's half Indian, as you said, and like her father was like also some kind of explorer, and
He was an archaeologist, wasn't he?
archaeologist. Yeah.
And
That's right.
it's basically the story of Chloe trying to find Ganesh's tusk, which is a mythical jewel from, I don't know, what were the ages?
Oh God. Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yes. I mean, it's Hindu mythology. It's Hindu
like
mythology, so it's a long time.
Persian Empire era, so
Yeah.
like 1300, 1200, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like European Dark Ages.
So at the start, we're kind of wondering, well, how did these two characters end up working together? And did you find the banter was believable? Did you enjoy it?
So I felt like, at least at the start, a lot of Chloe's dialogue sounded like it was written for Nathan Drake.
Yeah. I was about to. When we were talking about it earlier, I was going to chime in with she's the female Nathan Drake.
Yeah, it was almost like they didn't really make her a character. It was just like, we'll pretend Drake is in there and just swap the character.
I mean,
out,
to be
but-
perfectly fair, in Uncharted 2, she's like this giant smartass also.
Yeah, she has that wit, of course, yeah. But it seemed more Drakey. I don't know. Maybe that's not fair to say, but it just felt that way to me, at least at first. I think they really found the character towards the end, like a little better there.
Yeah.
When there was a little more emotion, when there was more like honesty with it.
Yeah.
I could see it separating from Drake a bit more there. But Nadine was great, I thought.
Yeah, it was fun to have two female leads, and they kind of quip about it a few times. They're talking about, oh, it's good to be working with a woman for once.
Yeah,
Chloe's talking about, and they're such completely opposite characters that it is kind of an odd couple situation.
It is.
It's
I enjoyed their banter. I actually kind of liked it a lot compared to like Uncharted 4's Nathan and Sully.
Yeah, and Sully wasn't even in it for that long, was he? A lot of it
Did you mean Sam?
Nathan and Sam.
Sorry, yeah.
Which,
Sully was at 3. Yeah, sorry.
Sully was only in it right at the start, wasn't he? And then Nathan and Sam, it was almost a bit bland, a bit boring.
Yeah,
a lot of shouting, a lot of hey, oh, and not much conversation, or at least it wasn't as funny as we were used to, because the banter with Sully, between Nathan and Sully,
best,
was always the funniest and was always kept you going.
Sully had the best lines, yeah. So he was definitely missed in Uncharted 4. And so I played this, and in between I was playing bits of Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is a very similar kind of game.
Yeah.
And it's a game I've always liked, and I've always thought was very good, and I'd been enjoying it. But like playing it alongside an Uncharted game, you see that they are just worlds apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the dialogue, in terms of the story, like I don't know. And it's a similar thing with like Laura is chasing after the work that her dad was doing, and
he always does it, Josh. He always does it.
Lara. Lara. And it was just, I don't know, like I would switch to Tomb Raider and I would not care. Whenever there was a cutscene, it would just be like, this is stupid. And she'd like talk to herself because she doesn't have a buddy. And that's when I realized the importance of always having Sam or Sully or Nadine there,
Yeah.
was you don't have the characters sitting there talking to themselves, explaining everything to themselves.
Yeah, that's
so
a really
the
good
player
point.
knows. It just seemed so out of place.
Yeah.
And over dramatic because she's just like being wowed and then like explaining everything to herself. And so
Yeah.
that aspect of like the dialogue and the character development, Uncharted is miles ahead of anything else.
Yeah, I generally prefer dialogue versus monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And another big contrast between them as well is just they're both very beautiful games, and they're both very high fidelity, photorealistic. But in terms of levels of photorealism and terms of polish, Naughty Dog, like Uncharted, just blows Tomb Raider out of the water.
Ooh, yeah.
The amount of times that you walk into areas and you see the level design and these like beautiful palaces or jungles, and it really does take your breath away. I found myself again snapping so many photos of this game, and I posted a few of them to Twitter. You can check them out at RBP Stevo, or I'm sure I tagged at RBP Cast as well. This game is just awe-inspiring.
Did you mess with the filters? Because some of those are pretty cool.
I didn't know. You have to take a few and upload them.
Okay. So one of the nice things I liked about it, and the Uncharted games have actually done a pretty good job of doing this throughout the series, is that as and getting collectibles actually has an effect in the game to unlock stuff. It's not just getting a trophy. It goes back to the old games where, doing extra stuff allows you to unlock things, kind of like little cheat codes type thing. So, getting trophies and finding collectibles and things like that gives you points to spend in like the extras section of the game, which unlocks filters, skins, concept art, things like that.
Yeah.
So, I can now play through Lost Legacy with Chloe as a pirate, for instance. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to unlock some of those things. And there's a couple filters, like an 8-bit filter where it looks like you're playing it on like you're playing it on like a Commodore 64. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's a few on there I suggest you take a look at.
That's excellent. What about what do you feel about the Uncharted flow, the pattern of gameplay that you get in these games, which is basically a bit of exploration. You get into a shootout. Once you've killed everyone, you do a little bit of platforming, and then you do a puzzle, and then you basically another bit of exploration, and you're back into the next shootout again. Like at this point, are you still enjoying that?
I mean, I know it's formulaic, and you can always tell you're like, okay, well, that was the music's off. All right, fight's over.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to look platforming. Okay, cool. What I did appreciate was that some of the puzzles in this one actually took some thought.
Yeah. The puzzles were good.
So many Uncharted puzzles are just brain dead.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, okay, or especially in like the first one or the second, actually, I think the first three, you look in your journal, you're like, oh, the solution's right there. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Whereas in this one, you got a couple of those sliding puzzles with the shadows, where you're like, okay, it's not like ridiculously difficult, but I see what I have to do, but I have to actually work to get it where I need it to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I did
the ones in the rooms
well.
with like the blades that would come down if you jumped on the wrong pillar.
Yeah.
Like I took some time to get through those, especially like the more complicated ones that came later.
So close. I messed up on the first one and then didn't mess up on the other.
Yeah, I was the same. I died the first time. And then I really quite enjoyed all the puzzles in that way, because it was instantly obvious to me what I had to do, and I wasn't frustrated at all. And I did fly through the puzzles pretty quickly, which some might criticize as meaning that they're too easy. But I found them satisfying in their ways. As you say, some of the shadow puzzles got a little trickier, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the puzzles, and they didn't hold me back from getting through the game, which for me was a big deal. I played the game on easy so that I could get through it pretty quickly, which isn't something that I ever do, but it's something that I decided to do for this because I was more interested in the story, and I wanted to chat about it with you guys. So the quicker I got through it, the more time I had to play other stuff, and
it was pretty good on hard mode.
Yeah, you played it through
on hard mode?
Yeah.
Jeez, I just did normal.
I was worried that because I wasn't enjoying the shooting, that I would have got bogged down in gunfights, and that because that's basically the difficulty. that is where you're setting the difficulty level. And if you're going to make those harder for yourself and you're not even enjoying them that much, it's a little bit pointless. That was my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that I would tell you, Elliot, and friend of the show, Mike from Pod Nerdy, is like, for The Last of Us, ratchet that difficulty down to easy and just get through it. And you'll love it for the story. And you never know. Maybe you'll go back and play it on a harder mode later on and enjoy it more.
Has he stopped playing it too?
He's basically around the same place as you. And
it gets hard there.
Yeah. And Eric from same team you all is starting to play it now as well. So
I didn't realize
if
that.
he beats it before you and Mike, yous are both going to be put to shame completely. You'll never live it down.
It's not even a toilet game for Eric. If he can beat it, then
exactly. Man's got a baby.
What was I gonna say? The one thing I also really appreciated about Uncharted Lost Legacy was the AI for your partner, for Nadine, was really good.
Oh yeah.
There are so many games where there's, the partner character just kind of sitting there taking shots that often miss and just kind of quipping and not really doing anything. But like Nadine, there's so many times when I'm getting like, shotgunners are coming up behind me and I turn around and she's taking them down with melee combat. I'm like, that's fucking great. Yeah. And there's one part, and I'm sure this was probably part of like built into it, where you had to unlock or find several items in a field as part of a puzzle, and she gets one of them for you.
Yeah, so it's basically if you're taking too long, she'll point you in the direction, which I've heard some people criticizing because they don't want that kind of additional hint, level of hints. Is it possible to turn that off, do you know? Probably not if it's the AI.
I wonder.
I would say not.
I'm not sure.
I would say if it's I think the hints where it actually says, press up to look at something.
Yeah.
I think you can switch those off. But I think in terms of ones that the AI character does, you can't change that level of hints. But the other thing that I like about your AI partner is that she doesn't tend to get in the way, which is always an issue with this kind of thing, where somebody is like stuck in a door, or you're trying to use a bit of cover and they're already in that bit of cover, and it slightly happens here, but because of the level of polish that Naughty Dog puts around these things, it does sort itself out pretty quickly. She'll shuffle out of the way or move to another position and it all feels right.
God, I hate that perfect, excellent level of polish.
Give me Uncharted 2. I'll go it alone.
But I did have a few instances where I had to push Nadine out of the way. And usually it's when I'm like, I stuck my head out too far. And I'm like, oh shit, go back. And then she's right there. And I'm like, no. But for the most part, it didn't happen. Just every now and again.
Yeah, I also am a huge fan of Uncharted 2, as you say, as yours, Stevo. And it's one that I started also playing on the collection on crushing mode. I'm like, I'm going to get the trophy on this. And I just got past the hotel scene, and it's so much better than I ever remembered, and I've always loved it too. And going from Uncharted 4, so I started playing it right after I finished Uncharted 4, and playing it after Uncharted 4, it's like and I came away loving Uncharted 4, but after going back to 2, I'm like, man, like 2 is still the pinnacle of the series, and there's no question about it. Even playing on the hardest mode, it still feels fair. It still feels like I don't know, it doesn't feel cheap.
Just wait to the final boss.
I'm sure.
I've beaten it on crushing. It's there's plenty of cheap moments in that one.
And in 60 FPS and 1080p, it's just gorgeous for a PS3 game. And I'll be honest, like when I first turned on Lost Legacy, and it was that first scene of, don't get spotted, sneak up, stealth kills, like it put me off immediately. Like it took me back to Uncharted 4 in a bad way. But it's also one of those things that once I did a few of those, I was kind of okay with it. I warmed up to it and I was like, okay, like we can do this. And the game is short enough. It doesn't overstay its welcome. But like overall, across the board, I really did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I did
But
too.
if we're comparing Uncharted's, like,
Yeah, and even there's a direct comparison here. So, spoiler alert, skip forward 30 seconds if you don't want any spoilers for Lost Legacy. It's only one scene that I'm going to spoil. Obviously, there's a callback to Uncharted 2 in the train sequence where,
Yes.
you're fighting your way forward on a train. And yet again, it is beautiful to look at. It's exciting. It's really well put together. It's so technically impressive. It's not as much fun as Uncharted 2.
No, I know.
Well, there's
I
less helicopters and tanks sitting on the train that you can use to shoot at the helicopter as Uncharted 2. So
yeah. And I mean, it might be because it's been done before, and it's an obvious callback. But or is it just that I much prefer the action in Uncharted 2? I think it's that I prefer the action, but it was still a great game. I still really enjoyed Lost Legacy on the whole.
If you played Uncharted 4 and you liked it, then I think you'll absolutely love Lost Legacy as well.
Oh, and I also love that when a character shows up, when you've also got a male character working alongside you, and he offers to like help out by doing something. The Chloe is like, "Oh no worries, we've got this." And I think that's very much the theme that they were going for with the two lady protagonists. It's that like the girls have got a handle on it. They can do this shit. It's.
I like those little quips as well. Yeah. They're just pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, guys, we actually all beat this damn game. Think we could do it again?
I know.
I think we can do it again.
So I just wanted to add one thing that even though it is a kind of like it's the latest Uncharted chronologically, and it's technically a DLC for Uncharted 4, you can totally play it without having played, except for like a couple of small references to Uncharted 4.
And even then, you would work them out. You would work it all out from what happens in the story. You can piece it together really easily.
Yeah, they do a good job of catching you up without too much exposition or anything like that at all. It's very natural.
Right.
If you have never played Uncharted game and you want to try one to see if you like it, dive right into this one.
Absolutely. It's a good entry. It's short enough. It's you can again set the difficulty level of whatever you're comfortable with, and it is the most polished. So you will enjoy it. It's a fun story.
It's so pretty. So pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah. All right. So you're segueing us, Josh.
Let's just try that again.
Reseg.
So we all managed to beat this last backlog roulette game for Lost Legacy. You think we could do it again, guys?
I think we can.
I believe in us.
So
unless
we're gonna go ahead.
It's Cuphead.
I believe in you because Charlie, you've got all this practice with Demon Souls. So what we're gonna do is Elliot won the last one with Lost Legacy, so he'll pick a new one, and then Stevo's and my choices will still remain. So if we roll a 1, we'll get Cuphead. If we roll a 3, we'll get Observer, and then if we roll a 2, we'll get whatever the hell Elliot's got in store for us, which is
I pick Rhyme.
It just came out on PS Plus.
It just came out on PS Plus. It's a platform game that came out last year. It kind of went through a tumultuous development. Like it was originally a Sony funded like second party game, PS4 exclusive, and then they backed out and it went multi-platform. And then they were the first game that had the Nintendo Switch tax, where the Switch version was $10 more, and got a lot of negative press for that. And it came out to like 7s, I think 7.5.
It's like an eco type game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's a like 3D platformer.
With no action though, no fighting. Is that correct?
You might be right. I actually don't know, but I haven't seen any screenshots or clips that have action. So
it's a very good looking game. It's very visually striking. The art design is really something. Yeah, something different.
I just went on and got the PS Plus games the other day, so good thing I did.
Yeah, I've been interested in it since I was following the saga of its development, and it always looked like
what was the other one?
Play.
What was the other one? Was free?
It's already free on Plus. The other one's Deus Ex.
No. There was something else. It wasn't Deus Ex. Oh, Knack.
Oh yeah, nah.
No.
That's right.
You should have picked that.
Maybe I
Oh
should do
gosh,
Knack.
I would have hated you forever.
So yeah, we'll do Rhyme as the replacement. And
All right.
we're gonna keep, as Josh said, any game that doesn't get rolled, we just keep it for the next time because we will eventually play these all.
Yeah. We found that when we were picking ones and then forgetting about ones, we were kind of not trying to pick the same ones that we had picked before. But in many times we wanted to. Like I think Josh is very happy with Cuphead, and I'm very happy with Observer. I want an excuse.
I mean, I still want Elliot to play Silent Hill, but that's beside the point. So, all right. So if we roll a 1, we'll get Cuphead. If we roll a 2, we'll get Rhyme. If we roll a 3, we'll get Observer. All right.
Sounds good.
Come on,
Bring the
Observer.
RNG gods.
Observer.
Woo! Observer. Here we go, lads. A little cyberpunk in your life.
All right.
Excellent. This is going to be fun. Now, Elliot, if you get scared, just call us up.
Call
We'll
Stevo
talk
up.
through.
Oh yeah, this is supposed to be scary, right?
Yeah, but not that scary. It's not Silent Hill.
Yeah. What was the review I read? It was like it was like BioShock meets Silent Hill. I was like, those are the 2 scariest games.
All right.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I think you'll be fine.
But yeah, good choice. Good choice. I'm glad it's not mine again because I feel like we could get into a rut where it's just like the same. We just keep playing the replaced game every time, and the other 2 stay there.
We keep avoiding Cuphead, sadly.
Yeah, we'll get there.
we'll play it one day.
We will. All right. Should that pretty much wrap up the cast here? Did we talk enough about games?
I think we did.
I think we mentioned a couple.
A couple games. Yeah, we did pretty good. And I didn't even talk about like the game I actually almost finished. So maybe I'll actually finish it and then play it next time or talk about it next time.
Good idea, Elliot.
Maybe I'll beat another boss or 2 in Dark Souls 3 and go from there.
Yeah, we'll do that. So that episode will come 2 weeks from today. And you've been listening to Rather Be Playing. Thanks for stopping by. In the meantime, you can check us out at ratherbecast.com, our website. We're also on Twitter at RBPcast. We also have our own Twitters at RBP Elliot, at RBP Josh, at RBP Stevo. Find us wherever
Twitch.
podcasts are, wherever you get your podcast, whatever service, we're on all of them. While you're there, rate us, leave a comment, tell your friends.
We love all of you.
We love all of you. Stevo, where can they watch us play games?
You can watch us at twitch.tv/ratherbyplaying. We're going to try and get on there more regularly.
Yep.
I'm going to try and stream. I'll definitely stream a little bit of Celeste in the next week or 2. And also myself and Elliot. And hopefully we can drag Josh on board as well to play a few multiplayer games too.
It's been busy. Sorry. I'll try.
Yeah, Josh, we haven't seen you since the last time we recorded.
I know. Sorry. I'll make some.
We missed your big face.
I'll make some times for you fuckers.
Yeah, it's the least you can do. I think that's all the places, right?
Yep.
YouTube as well. We're on YouTube. That's where we export our streams to, and we put up every podcast episode for free. So check us out there. And yeah, I think that'll do it.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Wait, this is episode 20. We're 20 down. Well, I guess technically 22 down, but still.
Yeah, there's 2 unnumbered episodes, but
Damn. But
we're making our way.
see you next time, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheerio, everybody.
Cheerio.